Welcome to CC Fashion. In this video, we're going to learn how to fix a side pocket to a man's trousers. If this is what you're interested in, please kindly subscribe to this channel for videos like this and turn on your notification bell. Let's go right into the video. Now, this is what we intend to achieve. At the end of the day, it should be this beautiful and it should be able to accommodate your cell phone. To achieve this, it needs time and effort though. It doesn't just happen by chance. You really need to put on hard work in whatever you do to achieve any professional look on your pants, especially the men pants. So let's move right into the procedures. First of all, you need a piece of fabric that's folded into two. The width is going to be 7 inches. That's the folded part will be 7 inches on fold, which means when you open it up it's going to be 14 inches, and the length is 13 inches depending on the length of the cloth that you're trying to achieve. Remember, 7 by 13. Thereafter, you just need to make a slant or curve depending on what you want. Just go up there and mark 6 inches and go down there, make sure that it is 7 inches. Then afterward you need to trace it down, slant from that 6 inches to connect with your 7 inches below. The 7 inches part is the bottom of your pocket, so you just place a curve and make sure that that part is curvy, just as you can see. You just need to blend it, curve it out so that it will give you a beautiful curve, and thereafter trim it off, just as you can see. Trim it to the upper parts of the 6 inches that you measured. That means the upper parts will be 6 inches while the bottom part of the pocket is 7 inches. It gets wider at the bottom. So afterward, just open it up, just as you can see. I've opened it up and it's now time for me to add facing to it. Note, if you are using the same fabric for the pocket as the one on the main trousers, you don't need to add any facing. But in this case, I have to add facing to it because I'm using different material for the pocket. So I'm going to add facing to it, and to add facing to it, you really need to make sure that you identify your facing. The front part of it is just what you're going to add on top of your pocket. So that is my pocket there. I have two pockets. I had to notch the center part of it. Remember that the pockets were on fold, so one of them, in fact you need to notch both. I'm just using one of them for illustration. So now that's the facing that I'm putting on top of it. I'll simply fold it just as you can see and make sure that I top stitch on it. Please ignore the checks. All the checks were because I was just making video on how to cut trousers. That's why I have all those checks there. And if you've not seen the video on how I cut this particular trousers that I'm working on, I'll leave the link in the description box. Please check it out. So all I did is just to top stitch the pocket facing on it. Remember, the first one is on the right hand side while the other pocket is on the left hand side. So do that. Do not put the facing on one side. Put it on both sides of the pocket, as you can see. So after that, the next thing is just to top stitch on it. Then your pockets will be ready. So let's move on to marking. I'll just pick up the front part of my trousers and I'll mark from the waist part of it downward by the side of the trousers 7 inches. 7 inches is constant for adults. Then by the waist I mark 2.5 inches. Then after the marking, I'll make sure that I notch the 7 inches point to create a little clip on it. Just clip on it and open it a little, like up to 0.3 2.5 or more than that, but don't make it more than 0.5 inches. Then you're going to simply make it in a diagonal way, the way I'm placing the ruler. Just slant it that way and make sure that you go to the steam iron and iron it out. Before then, you need to place gum stay along that line, along the axis. Make sure that it is really close to the line that you're going to fold the fabric that way. So iron it well. And after ironing it, this is what I got. I have finished ironing, and this is how the trousers looks like. I have the 7 inches, and by the side of it I have 2.5 inches. So all you need to do is to pick up the part of the clothes that you have already stitched your facing on, just as you can see, and try to locate the part that is going to be lying on the trousers. Please, if you don't understand what I'm saying, just watch the video the way I'm doing it. I actually fold in the part that I added facing. Notice that the part that there is facing on it, I'm just folding it in. So that's actually the front part of it. So after first putting it on, you look at the part that has facing. Make sure that the part that has facing doesn't have any contact, any direct contact on the trousers when you are placing it there. Now this is the part that is really having the facing, and the other part doesn't have the facing. And that part that doesn't have the facing is the part that has direct contact with the trousers, and that's the part I'm going to stitch on. That's the part I'm going to create my pocket. I'm going to fold, so to speak. So notice how I'm folding it alongside. So I'm just basically stitching the two parts on the putting them together, both the pockets and the main material. So that's how it looks like. You can see the stitches diagonally the way I was just showing you. So what I do is to trim off my pocket excess. Remember, it's not the real trousers, it's not the main material, it's that pocket excess that I'm trimming it off. Sometimes you may likely fold it and sew it before you trim it off, but here I am trimming it off first before I stitch it, because I will really want the rough edge on the lining to be properly concealed. Now after stitching, this is what I got. I just stitch around that axis, and it's just something close to 0.25 stitches, as you can see. Then thereafter I open it up just that way, and look at the pocket part is at the left hand side, just at the left hand side, and I'm folding the excess that I had so that no rough edge will show off in my clothes. Then I'll put it directly to the machine and top stitch on it. Remember, I am folding it while top stitching on it. This top stitch will only touch the pocket part of the trousers and not the main material, because it is open up, just as you can see. So I'm stitching down to the end of the diagonal line or the slant that I created. That's 7 inches slant. After stitching, this is what it looks like. I hope you were following what I'm trying to explain here. So the next thing is to make sure that you have placed the pockets the way it ought to be. Just make sure that you fold the pockets into two again and arrange the trousers the way it is supposed to be, just as you can see. Sorry, part of it is not showing, sorry for that. So all you need to do is just to arrange it the way it ought to be, and that is what I'm doing. Arranging the whole thing the way it ought to be. Then as I match the trousers part, I am turning it over to show you how the back part is looking like. Afterward, all you need to do is to just stitch round, raise up the pocket and stitch it round. So if you don't want to stitch it round, you can just go ahead and use a bias to pipe it. Remember, when you're working on your clothes, it should be professional. What I'm trying to teach you here is the basic method that I'm using. That's the first step for beginners. When you progress, or in subsequent videos about pockets, side pockets, I'll be using professional way. But you start from A before you get to Z. You don't just start from Z. That's why I'm showing you the A part of it. That's the beginner's part of it. Okay, then just flip it, turn it, and stitch round, just as you can see, and make sure that you always align your work when you are stitching. Stitch it to the other corner of it. You may decide to stitch it up a little, but I always like it this way. I really don't need to stitch it up to the upper part of it, just as I'm demonstrating. All you need to do is to stop somewhere after the curve and then turn it over to the other side. Make sure you put your hand inside and flip the pocket out, just as you can see. Push it out and make sure that everything is out, like there is nothing remaining inside. When you have brought out everything, all you need to do is make sure that you are stitching along the same line that you stitched before pushing it inside out. So top stitch along the line and turn it around, just as you can see. After top stitching, make sure that you are always aligning your work. And when you are stitching on any fabric at all, make sure that you do not allow it to gather. Don't allow it to rumple. Once you have a neat stitches, your work will likely attract others even when your cloth is turned outside. So after stitching, I had to arrange it and make sure that everything stands in place. The pocket is well flat, both on the inside and on the outside of it. That's both in the front part of it and at the back part of it. Then while arranging it, remember that we took out 2.5 inches at the waistline, then down was 7 inches. Then make sure that it is just the same, that what you have left is 2.5 inches on the pocket trousers pocket. So we can see how it is. It's up to that 2.5 inches and the length is also up to 7 inches. So all you need to do is just arrange the pocket very well. When you arrange it, pin it down the way it is and push it into the machine. Go ahead and top stitch the pocket to the main trousers, that's the front part of the trousers. That is what I am doing right now. You can see how I'm taking my time to top stitch on it to make sure that everything, that's the pocket, is held down at the waist part of my cloth. Then afterward, I have to also top stitch on the down part of it to make sure that the pocket is held down at the side of my cloth. Remember, you top stitch the upper part of it to hold down the pocket to the waist, and you top stitch on the side part of the clothes. Thereafter, that's what you have for your pocket. You just go ahead and fix all the fixable that you want to put in the trousers, like the waistband, join the side seam, and every other steps in which will come up in this channel. So please, if you like anything about this video, don't forget to support me. I really need your support. just give me something to rely on, to depend on, to know that you guys are there for me. Kindly click on the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. Please don't forget to share this to as many people as possible. Let's just move. Let's keep moving. Thank you very much for your support. Bye bye for now.